Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick, here with day 9 of the 13 days of Halloween treats. Holy mackerel, how are you today, my friends? It is a fabulous Monday here in East Tennessee. Let me just check to make sure I am live over on my YouTube channel. It appears that I am. Let me click in here so that I can see and catch comments, maybe, if I'm lucky. All right. Hello, my friends. How are you? All right. So it is Monday, October 17th, and we are on day 9 of the 13 days of Halloween treats. I hope you are doing well today. This weekend was crazy busy. We had a dog show all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Miss Willow finished the weekend earning enough points to have completed her Puppy of Achievement Award, so we're excited about that. And I am wore out. We had a fairly eventful weekend, but I am back home in the studio ready to do some fantastic paper crafting with you. And I have a super cute treat holder to share with you today. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? Let me take just a second here to see that I'm situated well. It appears that I am. Okay, and when you come in, I see some folks are in here already. When you come in, please say hello and let me know where you're tuning in from. And give us a thumbs up or a heart, or share our video here, because it's always more fun to craft with friends, and shares my videos with other people and gets more people interested in what we're doing in here. So it's always a lot of fun when we have a nice crowd of folks to visit with and to craft with as well. All right. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and start letting you know what supplies we're using today. And as always, you will be able to find this project as well as the tutorials over on my website, thestampinchick.com. I will have the measurements and supply list and everything there, so don't worry about writing them down on the fly or while we're doing the video. I'm going to go through them kind of quickly here because there are quite a few, so don't worry too much about that. You'll be able to find them over on my website, okay? Hi there, Mama Son. How's it going? I was going to call you today because I have a funny story to tell you about the weekend, and you're going to love it and think it's hilarious. I didn't necessarily at the time, but now that it's over, I do. So anyway, for the rest of you, I am so not going to bore you with those details and would not want to embarrass myself in front of you like that. However, my mother has changed my diapers and, taught me how to walk and talk and pee in the toilet. So, she's earned the right to hear my sad and embarrassing stories. All right. Okay, so what we're using today, I will hold this for just a moment. Here is the template for this project, okay? So it opens like this, and I think it looks like a Crayola box, like those old, I don't want to say too old, but, like a traditional Crayola box. So it opens up like this, and then I have, I think about a half a dozen of these little Cowtails mini caramel apple treats in here. I thought they were really cute. And yes, of course, I found these at the Dollar Tree. That's where I find a lot of my treats. Dollar Tree and Cracker Barrel, fabulous places to find candy and snacks. So anyway, I designed this box to fit the treats perfectly. So as you can see, there's actually enough room. You might be able to put one more in there. I was able to fit 7, but when I tried to put 8, it popped the box out a little bit much, so you definitely wouldn't want too much more than that. Hi, Miss Linda. How are you today? So I have 6 in here, and 6 is a pretty reasonable number to me. That's plenty of snacks to give away as a nice little gift. Of course, if I take all of those out, you can see that this box actually is a really decent size. Let me see. You could fit a Memento ink pad in there, so that tells you approximately how big it is. It is not quite wide enough to fit one of our new ink pads. It's not as wide, and it's not quite as tall either. Okay, so you couldn't fit that, and it's not deep enough for a punch, so you couldn't put that in there. Stampin' Right markers are a little long, as you can see. So just to give you a few ideas of what you may or may not be able to put in there, I have this little Russell Stover pumpkin coconut cream candy. That could actually fit in there. If I folded the top of the little wrapper down, that would fit nicely, actually. So you could put that in there. Certainly you could put all kinds of other things in there as well. Let me see if a D block with a stamp would actually fit in there as well. So this is a really good sized box, right? I'm going to go ahead and put my little treats back in here because I like the idea of those. And I'm using a couple of different Stampin' Punch or Stampin' Die bundles for this particular project today because I started out using the Everyday Occasions Designer Series paper, which has the really cute little jack-o'-lanterns and the ghosts. And so the sentiment that I have here, say boo and scary on, it kind of goes in with the ghosts, right? And that's from the Scary Cute bundle. So it's this sentiment and then the little banner die that goes along with it. But then, of course, you know, I've got these little spiders that I had stamped and die cut a whole bunch of them. They're sitting in a little bowl over here to the side. And those ones come from the Cottage Wreaths bundle right here. And then the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern, was actually the pumpkin from the Hello Harvest Stampin' Die bundle. And so I've stamped it on pumpkin pie cardstock and pumpkin pie ink. And then I used the black Stampin' Right marker to color the jack-o'-lantern face. So I didn't want just that cute little pumpkin, you know, it's the jack-o'-lantern to match the jack-o'-lanterns on the paper. So anyway, that's how I've ended up with 3 different Stampin' Die bundles here for this evening's project. Now, of course, as I have said for all of the other projects, you're certainly welcome to use whatever products you have on hand. And certainly you could change this project theme for literally anything. You know, you might be able to fit some Little Debbie snack cakes in here. That would be a really nice treat. Or a deck of cards would fit in here nicely. A lot of different things that you could do with this. Of course, jewelry is always a fabulous gift, and certainly you could put quite a few in here. So, you know, you get the idea. You can put a lot of good stuff in here. The measurements of the box itself are 3 inches wide by 1 inch deep by about 4 1/8 inches tall. So it's a really reasonable sized box. All right. Now that I have the stamps and dies out of the way, let me close that up. I'm also going to be using some of that gingham ribbon, as you can see here. And I'm using pumpkin pie ink and Memento ink. I have pumpkin pie cardstock that I've layered behind each of the Designer Series paper pieces here. And then I'm using that Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper for the body of the box itself. Okay, so now that you have all of the supplies listed, and I've given you a moment here to try to maybe screenshot that template if you'd like, but remember, and as it looks on my screen anyways, it may be a little bit hard to read through YouTube, but I do have this on my blog post for today. So when it goes live, which I believe will be about 9 p.m. Eastern time, just a little bit after we get off our live stream here, you'll be able to see the image there, and you'll be able to print it out if you'd like, and it'll be nice and clear and typed up, and you know, not my chicken scratch in here, so it'll be easy to read. All right, so I'm going to set this stuff aside. I've got my piece of basic white cardstock for the base of the box and my simply scored board here. And let me grab my stylus right quick. And this is basic white cardstock, and we're going to be scoring a few different lines here. So on the short side, I want to score at 1 inch and 4 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it to the long side, and I'm going to score at 1 3/4, 2 3/4, 6 3/4, and 7 3/4. All right, so this gives us the basic box. All right, we don't need our scoreboard anymore, so I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. I'm going to grab my trimmer or my snips, and let's burnish this first, so it'll be a little easier for you to see since it's white cardstock. Okay, we'll go ahead and score or burnish down all of these score lines. Okay, here we go. Now that Willow has finished her little Puppy of Achievement Award program, she had to get all of her points by the time she was a year old in order to count for that award. So that's kind of why we've been hitting the shows hard the last few weeks. She actually just turned 9 months old today. My baby is growing up. And then in so many other ways, it seems like she should be several years old already. I think that it's interesting that most of you who know me or who have been following me for a while, you remember Layla and Gunner, who were the boxers that we had had for years and years, our sweet babies. And Layla had passed away in July of 2020. Is that right? Gosh, yeah, July of 2020. And no, that's not right. July of 21, sorry. July of 21, last year. And then Gunner had passed away in December. And, you know, for those of you who have lost animals before, you know how incredibly devastating and awful it is. And Willow had just come about at the right time. And I didn't think that I was ready. I was sure I wasn't ready, but here she was, and the opportunity presented itself. And so we decided to take the opportunity. And now, you know, I find myself back and forth between the realities of what was Willow and what was Layla. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And it's not that Willow is replacing Layla at all, of course. But, you know, my heart is accepting her much more willingly, I guess. So anyway, it's been really nice for us to be able to do these shows together and to be able to bond together in a much, much better way. So I wouldn't say that we're as bonded as Layla and I were. I mean, Layla was my girl, but we're pretty darn close. Willow is really, really taken to me, and I'm absolutely in love with her. So it's been a lot of fun. And so anyway, now that she has earned the award, at least once it's official from AKC, then we're probably going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break from show for a couple of months and let her get a little bigger and let her fill out a little better, because she's in the gangly teenager stage, and you know, there's not a whole lot we can do with that. So you know, we're able to step back for just a bit and practice our stuff at home a little more. So that'll be nice not to have to travel around quite so much for a little while anyway. All right, now that I've got this base burnished down, I hope you can see the lines a little bit better. I think you can. And I'm going to go ahead and make tabs of these 4 squares right here. So what I'm going to do is cut up on either side and miter the corners. You guys have seen me do this a bunch of times before. This takes the bulk out of the corners of the cardstock there. And in this particular case, I'm using a thick basic white cardstock because the box is a bit bigger and I want it to be more sturdy than just the standard white cardstock. So I especially need to trim out some of the bulk in this one because that thick cardstock is really good stuff. So we're just trimming a little wedge out. It doesn't have to be even, as you can see there, it's not. And it doesn't have to be exact. And what I'm seeing here is that I need to trim that just a little bit more and get it off the line there. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing over here on the other side. Just like so. Okay. Layla was yours, Mom? Yes. Every time my mom came over, we had to make sure that Layla met her outside because Layla got so excited to see her Grammy that she would piddle on the floor wherever Gammy's feet were, and she'd have to watch out to keep her feet from getting peed on. Because Layla would want to be right on top of her and sit on her feet and was just so excited she just tinkled everywhere and it was awful. So we had to take her outside when Jeremy pulled up so that they could meet up outside and take care of that out there where it belonged. All right, now I've got my 4 tabs cut here. And now I'm going to put my cardstock and my designer series pieces on here, so I'll show you how that goes. Again, don't worry about the measurements here because I'm going to have those over on my website on the blog post, and you'll be able to see them all typed up nice and neat, okay? But this piece is for the back side. It's 2 7/8 by 3 7/8 inches. It's going to go right here. So as I go along, uh-oh, where's my, oh my word. Okay, folks, don't mind me. I've got to use some old adhesive. I've got a little bit of snail adhesive left, and my Stampin' Seal is empty, so oopsie. All right. You're not seeing that. Imagine that it's Stampin' Seal. I found a couple of these containers of snail the other day, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to use those because, you know, I mean, I can't get refills for them anymore anyway, so it doesn't matter, and I can't sell them, so I'll just use them. Okay, now then, I have my front piece, which is right here. So let me bring this up a little bit. Okay, this is the back, this is the front, and this piece is 2 7/8 by 3 1/8 inch. I know other demonstrators are fancy schmancy and can put their measurements up on the screen. I am not computer savvy like that. I don't know how to do it. So I will just continue doing what I do and putting it on my blog, and that way you can see it easily, and you'll be able to do whatever you need to do, print it out or whatever. So I tend to think that that works a little better for me. Anyways, you don't want me to try to do that. It's weird. Okay, now these strips are for the sides, and they are 7/8 of an inch by 3 1/8 of an inch. Now, when you look at the measurements on my website, and I know that I have put it in notation there, that the number that's in the front, so 7/8 of an inch, is the width of this piece, and then 3 1/8 is the height. Okay, so that only matters when you're doing like this, which is directional paper. So this is for the front panel, and it's 2 3/4 inches by 3 inches. So whichever way you're wanting to cut first, you just want to make sure that if you're cutting this way, you're cutting 3 inches first. And if you're cutting it this way, that you're cutting 2 3/4 inches first. So that way the 2 3/4 is the shortest side and the 3 inches is the longest side. And I hope that didn't confuse anyone, but I just want you to be made aware of that. Okay, and then the top here is 2 7/8 inches by 7/8 of an inch, and that's going to go right here. Right now, this is starting to look very much like a Tennessee Vols gift box. So for all of my Tennessee friends, I know you're loving that. Let me turn this around here so that I have the top down. Okay, the front panel, top front panel here, or the lid front, is 2 7/8 by 1 5/8 inch. Okay, so there's that. And then I have 2 little strips here that are going to go on either side. And these are 7/8 by 1 5/8. Now again, you don't have to worry about writing these numbers down. I have all of them over on my blog, and you'll be able to see those here directly. Okay, so don't worry about it. I just want to get those numbers out here to you. Okay, here we go. Let me put that one on. Okay, now then, this is exactly where we're going to cover with the design series paper as well. So with the lid section pointed towards me, you can see that it's the skinnier section of the bunch, right? Let me slide that up just a little bit more so you can see better. Okay, the skinnier section is in front of me. I have this panel in the sides, this strip, and see, that's why I needed to turn it, because I put that on the bottom. So let me just cut another piece because I wasn't paying attention. All right, let me see here. Hold on just a second, friends. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I was playing and not talking, and I was talking and not paying attention. So let me cut this right quick. It is, the top is 2 7/8 by 7/8. All right, now you're only going to cut one of these, but I'm going to have to cut 2 because I wasn't paying attention. So it works out better when you know where your top is. Okay, so right there. And then you can make sure that you glue this panel in the right spot. So do as I say, not as I do. All right, there we go. Okay, much better. All right, so now we have the lid front, the lid sides, the top, the back. The bottom would not have paper, the front and the front sides, okay? And that sounds weird, but wait until we assemble it, you'll see what I'm saying. And that's why I think it's important to put the lid front closest to you, because when you do that, you can put all of the designer series paper pointed up, and when it's assembled, it magically falls into place, okay? And I'll show you exactly what I mean. So I've got my lid front designer series paper here is 2 3/4 by 1 1/2, and I'll put that right in the middle of my orange layer. I have the lid sides at 3/4 of an inch by 1 1/2 inch. So these are just 1/8 of an inch smaller than the original sizes. So there's like a 1/16 of an inch border all the way around. Okay. Now we have this one. And you'll see what I mean as I'm going. Here's the top, and I'm not going to put a piece on that one because, like I said, that one was not supposed to be there. So we'll just pretend like that one isn't even existing. All right, there we go. And now this piece is not directional, but if we were putting directional paper here, this is the only piece that would be upside down. All right, so if you were putting directional paper here, you would put this one upside down, but then the rest of these would be upright with these. Okay, so if this one were directional, it would be upside down, but these ones and these ones are all pointed upright. I promise it'll make sense. Okay, now the reason I used this piece, honestly, was just because once I had cut all of my pieces from my scraps and whatnot, I didn't want to cut into a new sheet of paper because I had a nice big section of this that happened to work for my sample as well as this one. So I was able to cut both of these pieces from that, and I think it looks really nice with it, so I just went with it. Okay, but you can use whatever you want to, or whatever you have on hand. Okay, and then we'll put this upright just like the others were. Remember, if you're doing them all with directional paper, holy cow, this one will be upside down. All right, so that's the only one that would be upside down, is the one in the middle. The rest of them would all be pointed the right direction. They'd all be pointed upright. Okay, there we go. And then last one. And then you'll see how that just magically comes around. Okay, so now you can see these are upright, these are upright. This one would be upside down. And here we go. Okay, so we have the back, and then the little tabs I want to sandwich in the middle, and then the front. So we have the front is upright, and then the back would be upright. And then the tabs come down, and they are upright as well. So you can see there, it all lines up, right? Beautiful, huh? Okay, now then, let's go ahead and close this box up and put some glue on these tabs. Okay, there we go. Give it a nice press. Same here, and our lid is complete. All right, now then, you need to put glue here, and you can put glue here, okay? Because this piece is shorter than this piece, you don't want to put glue on this section, because you may go a little bit higher than you need to, okay? So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put glue on these two pieces, and then I'm going to come in and put glue on these two pieces. Okay, and as I come up with my box, I'm going to bring those tabs in. Okay, open my lid and bring the front back. Okay, and there we have it. All right, now let me give that a little crease that direction, and I can bring my bone folder in and give it a nice crease here. Press it down really good so that way it's all stuck together. Nice and easy. All right, there we go. And then there's our box. Okay. All right, now then we've got to make all of our little elements here. Okay. So I have already stamped and die cut my pumpkin. But again, as I said, I used the Hello Harvest, the stamp, pumpkin stamp here. And then die cut it with the die. And I did that with pumpkin pie ink on pumpkin pie cardstock. And then I just took my Stampin' Right marker, and I'm using the little bullet tip, and this is all just freehand, okay? You don't have to be perfect, because as we know, jack-o'-lanterns come in all shapes and sizes, and certainly you can do whatever you want to. So for that matter, You know, we can do ovals this time if we want. So we'll just come in here. I'm going to turn him a little bit this way so he's got kind of a sweet little face like that. One can be a little bigger than the other. There we go. And then just bring him over. There you go. So you can totally make his face sideways, crooked, or whatever you want to do, because hey, he's a jack-o'-lantern. You can do what you want. If you want to make eyebrows on him, you could certainly do that, I guess. Whatever you want to do. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm going to turn them over so that way I don't mess up and color outside the lines here. Oop. Straighten that up a little. There we go. So whatever we want to do here is what we can do. If you're really artsy and can draw well, which obviously I cannot, then you can do whatever little designs you want. Okay? All right. There we go. Okay, then. I'm going to bring in my white label. I've already die cut it. Well, if I can get a hold of him here. Okay, there we go. And I need to stamp Say Boo and Scary On. Okay, tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. And right there in the middle. Looks pretty good. Okay, now then, I've got my couple of spiders here. Like I said, I have a whole little bowl full of them over there. So I'm going to take this, and I need my ribbon. Okay, which I thought I had some that wasn't open yet, or was, oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. Hold on, hold on. I have it attached to another project. I hadn't snipped it yet. All right, there we go. Okay, now then, I've got my gingham ribbon here, and you guys have seen me do this bow before, but basically I line the ribbon up with the end of my finger here. Hi Jen, how's it going? There we go. I wrap around that finger, wrap around this finger, and I'm basically doing a figure 8 2 times between this one and this one. I'm skipping my middle finger altogether. That middle finger is only there to create a spacer to keep my loops roughly the same size, okay? So don't go around it, just make a figure 8 around your first and third. And then I'll cut off up here with a little extra to wrap it. And I'm gonna bring it through my index and middle finger area, bring it around all of the loops, do that one more time. Cinch it up nice and snug, and then I'm going to tie it into a knot, okay? So this is going to give me 2 loops on either side of my bow. I'll pull it snug, but not too tight, because if you pull too tight, you'll pull your loops out, all right? This is just a little figure 8, so you can't pull it super, super tight without undoing your bow. That's why I keep the loops on my finger until I'm done. Okay, and then I can fiddle with it just a little bit if I want to. I don't need to fiddle too much. The more you fiddle, the flatter and weirder your bow looks. Trust me, I know these things. Okay. All right, then grab your glue dots. Let me get to the next glue dot here. Okay, and then I'm going to put it right here on the top. And yes, I am going to trim those tails, but I wanted to get it on my jack-o'-lantern first. Okay, so now we'll go 1, 2. I'm going to save these for later because these can actually make some really cute little tail pieces, okay? So don't throw that kind of stuff away. You know I don't. All right. Oh, I'm glad you like that tip, Jen. Yeah, this bow is a really fun one, and I love the double loops on it. It really is nice, especially when you have like twine and things like that. These thinner ribbons, it really makes them look a little more substantial. Okay, now it's time for us to assemble our pieces here. Let me bring in my black dimensionals. I love these things, as I have said before. The wonderful thing about them is that you get sheets of small and large dimensionals in the same package. So it's fantastic, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and put right here. Let's see. Actually, I can use my little end pieces here. Okay, put one right here near the edge of your DSP. So that way you know that the edge of your piece is going to be covered, okay? And then put the other one on the right hand side of your tag. Okay, now we'll take both of these off, and then it's going to put a nice even dimension on both sides of this banner. Okay, and we'll put that there. Now I want to take one of my little spiders here, and I've cut just a teeny little section, as you can see right here off of the outer edge of my dimensionals. I just need a tiny little bit, and I want to stick it right there so that I know it's going to stay and it's not hanging over the edge, okay? So it's a good thing to put it down directly where you want it, so that way you know you don't have to worry about anything being sticky on the back side. And then I'll just stick my spider right where I want it to go. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of my pumpkin. So I'll put one here, one here, and one here. And I'm doing it this way because, as you can see from this one, I have it hanging off this side. So it's all about keeping some symmetry going on here, right? So it's hanging off a little on this side. We want it to hang off a little on that side. And that way it doesn't look so square and generic. Okay? Generic isn't really a good word, but boring and plain. How's that? It's amazing that just putting something a little off center or tilting it just the tiniest bit can truly make all the difference in your projects. You know, I mean, you go from something that's centered like this to being offset, which really just makes the difference, okay? So don't be afraid to hang off the edge of your projects a little bit. Don't be afraid to go off center or a little cattywampus. Don't be afraid to do that, because those things are extremely handy and really make your projects stand out, okay? All right, now the last thing we want to do is to add another spider, because I love these things, right here on our little jack-o'-lantern. Just giving him a kiss. There we go. All right, there we have it. Okay, friends, now I know it's been a little bit since I've shown you the other days of Halloween treats, so I'm going to go back here right quick, and I'm going to show you the other 8 days of Halloween treats, okay? So bear with me for just a moment. I'm going to set this one off to the side. This one is day 9, day 8, day 7, 6, 5. I'll turn this way so we're kind of out of the way here. Oh no, I've got room. All right, there we go. Day 5, 4, 3, 2 was this adorable treat bag. I love these bags. And then day 1 was our cracker treat box holder that we extended the length of from the natural size. So there you have it. All right, folks, there are the first 9 days of Halloween treats. Be sure to come back again tomorrow for day 10. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe and click the bell so you get notified when I go live or when I post another video. And I would love for you to give me a thumbs up or show me some love if you like the project today. And of course, be sure to share it with your friends, because I would love to have your friends join us and have a great time with us as well. Thank you so much, Jen. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. Just looking through my messages right quick to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I believe I responded to everyone. If I missed you, I am sorry. Don't worry. I go back and I check my posts and messages. So if you go back and watch any replays and have a comment, I will be sure to reply to your comments. I love interacting with everybody. It's so much fun. So, all right, guys, as usual, you'll be able to find all of the supplies for today's project over on my blog, thestampinchick.com. Down at the bottom of the blog post, you'll find the supply list where you'll be able to click on it and go straight to my website and order. On the post, you'll find that template that I told you you'd be able to print out. It's cleaner and tighter than this one, so go get that one. This one's chicken scratched. But you'll find the template as well as the measurements for the cardstock layers and the DSP layers, okay? All right, guys, thank you all so very much for hanging out with me this evening. I really appreciate you all. And I believe the blog post will go live right about 9 o'clock. I may be able to get it up a few minutes before that. It's already ready. It's just waiting for this video to be able to link to it. So in the next few minutes, it should be there. So you can check and get your template then, okay? All right. Stay tuned tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the same channel. And we will be back for day 10 of the 13 days of Halloween treats. All right. Thanks so much for coming. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.